You know, there's something satisfying standing around in a pile of sawdust with your dog hanging out with you on a Sunday morning. After we get our logs bucked, and we need to seal them. Why? The moisture content of this wood at the surface is 25%. That's a lot of moisture. Why do we need to worry about that moisture? Because moisture will leave through the end grain of the wood 15 times faster than it will through the side of the wood. And the process of that drying is going to create cracking and checks. And those cracking and checks will ruin the wood, as demonstrated by this. This is just a small log. It was not sealed. Moisture is leaving through the end grain much faster. Crack, 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 crack. These cracks will make this piece of wood useless for bowl turning, because you will get shattering and cracks when you try to turn a blank out of this. You have crack, 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 crack. Imagine if this is the same orientation right here. End grain, end grain. Waxed, not waxed. Seal this, moisture will come out of this much slower and at an even rate. We lose moisture at the rate of 1 inch per year. 1, 2, 3, 4. In 2022, this wood had basically had all the moisture come out the side. Yeah. This wood is now dry and ready to turn. 13%. But this has been sitting in my garage for about 2 months waiting for this video. So this is actually absorbing moisture back from the environment. But before I turn this blank, I'll put it back in the basement, and that moisture will come back out of it. Ultimately, this one came out of my basement this morning. 8.8, which is fine for turning. So this one that's been my temperature and humidity controlled environment is absolutely ready to go. You guys see anything different? We got a new toy. I am the proud owner of a 24-inch bar Husky 460 Rancher. I've only used this once to test it out, tighten the blade. So, beautiful new saw. One of the things we talked about briefly and we'll revisit is that when getting these trees bucked, you have to have an extremely smooth surface in order to wax it. If you don't have a smooth surface, you have all sorts of notches and grooves. You can't properly seal it, and you're going to get cracks wherever you didn't get waxed. I'm going to trim this face off so you can see the natural wood, so we can walk through how we design a blank cutting process. All right. No more wax, ambrosia staining, nice flat top. Let's talk for a second about wood figure. These ambrosia stains aren't ideal. I wouldn't want to use this for food, but I don't do a lot of food material, you know, bowls and stuff. These are actually created by an ambrosia beetle, the staining, and there are actually little holes in the wood. So it's okay, but it's not my preferred wood to work with. But it does make a pretty bowl. And we have to get a square blank out of this section. So I get to decide as the artist, how big do I want it to be, and how many of these sections, how many pieces do I want to get out of this. And I think that I want to get One there. Two there. You can see how I am not going to be able to use these little edges here. 3. 4. 4 blanks out of this piece of wood. And this is one of my bigger pieces of wood. So I'm going really big blanks. When I get down to this one, this is my smaller piece of wood. I'm going to go with smaller blanks. You want to find out how much this one weighs? Let's find out before I lift it. Ooh. 240, 255, about 250 pounds. Oh, stop. 250. Excuse me, I gotta go let my dog in. Whoever said oak wasn't good for something? Okay. Whew. Let's get to cutting. There you go. Other than waxing this, it's ready to sit on a shelf. 1 inch a year estimate. 6.5 to 7 inches wide. The bark on one end is going to slow it down. This is 7 inches, 7 years, 20, 31. This wood will be ready if I let it naturally dry at 2031. Let's talk about bark on, bark off decisions. The ends are sealed, moisture's coming out the sides. Moisture will come out of this side pretty consistently, but it will not come out this side because the bark is still on it. If I leave the bark on, this will dry slower. How much slower, I don't know. But I like working with a live edge bowl. Something about a piece of bark still on the bowl that reminds me of where it came from. And I think customers that buy my work also like that. The chainsaw is a pretty wasteful way to cut this. So you see me making these cuts with a chainsaw because I can't get this on a bandsaw. But this I can get on a bandsaw. So what I will do is I will store this as it is, and if I decide down the road to take off this bark edge, I will just drop it on my bandsaw and cut that right off and make it a nice square. So yeah, it takes 6 or 7 years to dry this naturally the way I do it. But as long as you get one every 6 years, what's it matter? That shelf downstairs behind me when I'm doing it at the wood bench, that's full of bowl blanks. That's years worth of bowl blanks. So I'm not kidding. When you get a tree and process it, seal it, cut it, store it properly, and do it every 5 to 6 years, you cut your blanks at 5 or 6 inches, you will never run out of wood. That bowl, all these blanks, free. Other than the gas for the chainsaw and a little effort. 100% free. And we'll turn this around into a bowl at the art store for $70 to $80. Today I will probably get 50 to 60 blanks. It's a pretty good deal. Let's get cutting. Okay, one's down. That's the core. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 big blanks from that. Probably one 11 by 7. Probably a 12, 12 and a half, 13 by 6. Probably an 8. I can probably squeeze a 7 out of that one as well. Be a 9 and a 7 out of this one. Pretty close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bowl blanks. So that's one log I have, and actually one of the smaller ones. So I have 14 more logs to go. I'll check in with you periodically. But so this is that cut I just made. This is the very center of the tree right here. It has just a gorgeous figure. So I'm going to keep this piece. It's sealed, but all this knot and distortion. The camera died while I was finishing that. Look at this. This is that heartwood, and it's just beautiful figure. It's gonna. You can see the very center of the tree right here. It's going to distort and crack and chip, but it also has just some amazing grains. There must have been a branch coming in here, some kind of secondary growth that's creating all sorts of cool figure. Absolutely gorgeous. Keeper. This is that same log that we just cut up. And out of it we get one very large 6 by 11 inch bowl blank, a second pretty good sized probably 10 inch bowl blank by 5. This will probably be a scrap piece. It's the wedge cut they made, and there's not much I can do about that. As we approach the center, we have a very chonky blank here, another bowl here out of this one. This is the center of the tree, and unfortunately it has that same rot, and it does not have beautiful figure, so it's probably heading right to the scrap pile. And then here we got a nice big deep one. The bowl will be shaped like this, nice ambrosia on the inside. We got 2 of those, 7, 8. I got 8 or 9 depending on what I do with this one. 8 or 9 pieces. That's 9 here, it's 7 there. So I'm up 3 blanks, I'm up to like 17 blanks. I got like 10 more to go. And somehow for me, sitting in a pile of wood chips, covered in dust, it's just peaceful. So I appreciate you guys coming along and enjoying the simple things with me. Oh, let's do it. Yeah, I'd love to have your help, but I don't have it. So I do everything one guide. One guide, that's a thing now. I created that. All right, let's pick this one apart and see what we can get. 7 more. Break time. About 4 hours in. A little over halfway. All right, let's keep going. Last one. Unfortunately, it's the biggest one. About 18 inches wide on one end. So that's a beast. Okay, I've decided I'm literally just going to cut an edge off and go from there. Because it's big and I need to use my big chainsaw and I can't move it around until I get it cut a little bit. Pretty, isn't it? Heartwood, sapwood, funky little shapes, bark inclusions up there and there. All that heartwood, sapwood, pretty cool. Remember when I said people don't like big bowls? You know, I like making big bowls. So of all these trees, this is the single biggest blank I got. And I'm leaving it this way. Yes, it's hard to carry. Yes, it's gonna be hard to do anything with. But I have a solid 15 inches diameter. And probably 4.5 to 6 solid inches of the thickness. And I wanna make a bowl out of this in about, well, 7 years. Stick around, we'll see it be made in 2031. But I'm not cutting this one up anymore. This one's staying. Last piece of the last piece right here. This is it. Last piece, last couple cuts. Oh, I'm getting tired. Hallelujah. Oh, look at that. That's ridiculous. Look how awesome that is. I mean, yeah, it's the heartwood with the center of the tree that's going to get all knotty, but look how beautiful that is. I mean, come on. You can't tell me that's not absolutely gorgeous. Look at those colors. Unbelievable. A lot of this color will fade and get a lot of warping around this. But you know what? I don't really care. I'm going to have a great time turning this into something beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. Now these all have to go back in the garage so I can seal the ends. Most of the ends are sealed, but where my chainsaw bit into it broke that wax seal. And then anywhere I have to, any fresh cuts like the original ones, I gotta redo. So, I'll come back in a sec, I'm tired. Hi, Jax. I'd say that was time well spent. All right, I'm gonna close up shop, go take a shower. Howdy. It's been 4 days. It's dry. spent 4 days trying to figure out where I'm going to put it. I have absolutely no space for this. I went looking in the basement around the shop where I could put it, and every place I could put it is filled with other wood from other times that I haven't yet got to. Whew. But it's got to go somewhere. So let's stuff it into little places and call it good.